Hello and welcome. You're all welcome to the National Common Entrance 2020 Foolproof Guide to Passing the Math with Flying Colors. This is our day 2. In day 1, we discussed questions 1 to 5, and we took some tips on how to get confidence in that particular paper. So today what we're going to be doing is to take the questions 6 to 10, work on them, and use that as a basis for understanding the National Common Entrance examinations and preparing for it. So let's begin. So question 6 says, if a is equal to 8 and b is equal to 6, what is the value of a squared minus b squared? Now I want you to try and remember the formula for difference of two squares. If you do not know the formula states that a squared minus b squared, or a number squared minus another number squared, is equal to the first number minus the second number in bracket times the first number plus the second number, close the bracket. So if we put in the values, we have that a is 8, b is 6, so 8 minus 6 times a is 8, b is 6, we have 8 plus 6. So we have 8 minus 6 is 2, like you have here, times 8 plus 6 is 14. So we have 2 times 14, which result is 28. So the answer for this comes from using this formula that is already tried and tested. Okay, so remember I called it the difference of two squares formula. The difference of two squares formula. Okay, so let's go to the next question. That is question number 7. Question number 7 says, given that x is equal to minus 2, what is the value of x raised to power 3, or x cubed? Now we have x is equal to minus 2, that is x cubed will be minus 2 in bracket and then you cube it on top. Okay, so this is the same thing as putting minus 2 in 3 different places and separating the minus 2's by multiplication sign. So this is minus 2 times minus 2 times minus 2. Now from our multiplication of sign numbers, you know that when we multiply two numbers that have the same sign, the result is positive. But when we multiply a positive signed number by a negative signed number, the result is negative. So, or if we multiply two signs of different, two numbers with different signs, the result is negative. So here we have two signs that are the same. Minus 2 times minus 2 is plus 4. Okay, now plus 4 times minus 2. Of course, those are numbers with two different signs, plus and minus. Of course, also the result will have the multiplication of the numbers and then the multiplication of the sign. So the sign is minus and the number is 8. So there we have it. The answer is minus 8. Okay, let's go to the next number. That's question number 8. A woman bought 15 oranges for 150 naira and sold them at 12 naira each. What is her percentage profit? Okay, she bought 15 oranges for 150 naira. Therefore, if I buy 15 oranges for 150 naira, it just tells me that each orange will cost 10 naira. Right? You see that? Or you could do if more or less divides. 15 oranges will cost 150. So one orange will cost what? Will one orange cost less, or one orange will cost more? One orange will cost less. So if it is less, then more will divide. Now which one is more between 1 and 15? It is 15. Okay, so more divides. So we have 1 times 150 divided by 15. I'll repeat that again. 1 times 150 divided by 15. And what we get is 10. So one orange will cost 10 naira. That is, the cost price of one orange is 10 naira. From the question, we are told that she sold them at 12 naira each. So her selling price was 12 naira each. Of course, if you remember the formula of profit, profit is the same thing as cost price minus, selling price minus cost price. Right? Profit is selling price minus cost price. Okay? If I'm not going to talk about loss now, because the question is not directed towards loss, but you must also know the formula for loss. The formula for loss is going to be selling price, cost price minus selling price. Okay? So the cost price will be greater than the selling price in the case of loss. The selling price will be greater than the cost price in the case of profit, as it is here. So we will have 12 naira minus 10 naira, which gives us 2 naira. Okay. Now, percentage profit, which is what we have been asked to find. That is the question in the question. Okay, that is the question in the question. Percentage profit. Percentage profit has the formula profit over cost price times 100 over 1. Profit over cost price times 100 over 1. So the profit is 2 naira, the cost price is 10 naira times 100 over 1. Once you cross all these out, you have 2 into 2, 1, 2 into 10, 5, 5 into 5, 1, 5 into 100, 20. So we have 20%. So her percentage profit, the percentage profit of the woman who bought 15 oranges for 150 naira and sold them at 12 naira each, is 20%. There you have it. So let's go to question number 9. Question number 9 says, determine the sum of the LCM and the HCF of the following numbers: 8, 12, and 16. Now, what we would usually do is perhaps to use the ladder method, but this is more convenient. The method I'm about to show you is more convenient. You take out the numbers and then you list out their factors in prime order. Okay, so you have 8, which is equal to 2 times 2 times 2. All these are prime numbers. 12 is 2 times 2 times 3. All these also are prime numbers. 16 is 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. That is the LCM, therefore, is going to be, you're going to look for the highest number of prime numbers in their own distribution, and it is here 16. 2 times 2 times 2 times 2, 4 2s. We'll put that down here, and then we'll pick any other prime number that exists. So if we took 2, we have taken for 2. We don't need to take anything more else. You understand? If we're going to take the next prime number that shows up here is 3. We're just going to pick the highest number of that availability. We have that as 3, and its availability is just 1, so we put it here as the LCM of these 3 numbers. So 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 3 gives us 48, which is essentially 16 times 3. For the HCF, we're going to look at the situation where we have the numbers common, the prime numbers that are common to the 3 of them. So first things first, we have 2 as common here, so we put the 2. We have another 2 that is common among the 3. We put that down here. Is there any other thing that is common among the 3? No, this 2 is not common, this 3 is not common, this 2 is not common. So we leave it at 2 times 2. So the HCF, or the highest common factor, of 8, 12, and 16 is 4. Now, knowing that we've not finished the question, because the question in the question is to determine the sum of the HCF and the LCM. So we'll take these two values, 4 and 48, and we add them up. LCM plus HCF is equal to 48 plus 4, which gives us 52. Not so tough, right? Okay, if there's any problem with this, if you have any problem with this, you can always leave your comments at the comment section of the video. Okay, now the next question says, question number 10, given that A is equal to 6, B is equal to 7, and C is equal to 4, what is the square root of 3A plus 2B plus C? The square root. Okay, so the square root of 3A plus 2B plus C could be written like this, square root of 3A plus 2B plus C. And then if we substitute the values, this will be equal to the square root of 3 times, what is A? 6, good, plus 2, yes, what is B? 7, plus C, what is C? 4. Okay, we have that substituted properly, is equal to the square root of, what is 3 times 6? Okay, that's 18, plus, what is 2 times 7? Okay, that's 14, plus 4. So 14 plus 4 is 18. 18 plus 18 is 36. So the square root of 36 is what this question is asking us for. And the square root of 36 is 6. So we've about finished the quota for today. But before we leave, let's share some tips to keep in mind. Now, tip number 1 is that while you're writing this exam in the hall, in the exam hall, keep your focus on the paper. You should just know now that you probably are the most knowledgeable person on that question in the hall. So there's no point trying to look around to see what every other person is doing and how they are keeping their faces and how serious they are. Just focus on your paper. The second thing is to believe in what you know and what you think is the way to tackle the problem. Nobody should come in there with the hope that they're going to ask somebody or get some teacher or invigilator to help them. Go in there with what you know and believe that what you know, with the practice you've gotten, you will be able to tackle this problem. Okay? And then number 3 is that you should keep the sound of the voice of your teacher in your head to guide you and provide you with some confidence that you're doing the right thing. You know, at any point in time, you ask yourself, what would my teacher do in this particular situation? If you're doing what your teacher will do in that particular situation, good. Give yourself that confidence and keep moving. What would my teacher do? If you're making a mistake at some point, you might even hear your teacher scold you, you know, from the past, you know, to bring you back in shape. So keep that in mind. Like I said, if you have any other views on this video or comments, just put them down on the comment section. But please remember to subscribe and read the notification bell so that the videos as we make them come to you and you know when the videos come. Okay, so from here I would just take you to what I expect you to be doing within the time that we're not going to be together. First, I want you to solve these questions on your own and attempt to do them under 5 minutes without help. Okay, then submit photographed copies to us on WhatsApp. Okay, you have our WhatsApp number. If you don't, you need it, you can ask for it in the comments section. Okay, For further practice, you may try your hands on the questions 1 to 10 of other National Common Entrance examination years. Then submit photographed copies to us on WhatsApp so that we mark them, we vet them, and then we give you the evaluated copies of your work. So it's a wrap. We thank you very much for paying attention and joining us to solve the questions 6 to 10 from the math section of the National Common Entrance of 2016. From me, Mr. Chooks, and all of us here at the IEMCR, it's bye-bye.